Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining our session today. I'm Esther, and I'll be your presenter for this session. Thank you for joining Log360's webinar session today. As you can see, this is going to be a little different than our usual webinars where we talk about the market of SIM landscape and security threats and anything that follows after that. We are going to have a launch showcase of the recent Log360's capabilities that have come up in our SIM solution. So that is going to be the agenda for today. We'll look at a quick journey of Log360 so far and the recent addition prior to Q3, which is Q2, and whatever capabilities that we had brought in the last quarter. And moving on, how have we brought in the recent capabilities with respect to the re-engineered detection. And we'll also look at the newly launched UI. I will go a bit back and forth with the presentation, and I want to show you all these visually in our product as well. So that is going to be a bit of a back and forth. And for this session, I've got a working instance, so it's easy for you to see these things visually. And lastly, we'll also look at what is coming up next in Log360. So these are the few updates that we have for in this particular session. So feel free to shoot any questions that you have, even in between, or you can also save them up at the end of the session as well, and I will try to answer them as we go on. So, a little bit of background, right, for Log360, especially for those of you who have joined and are still looking at Managed SIM, or you might not be using it yet. This is an overall view of what Log360 can do. And of course, we are adding new capabilities to these existing features, which is what I'll be covering next. But on the whole, you can see that it sort of covers an entire end-to-end threat management source for all these capabilities. Starting from log management, we have collecting logs, parsing them, analyzing them for any of the threats that we can detect in real time. And then we have compliance management as well. We'll monitor all these devices. We support around 750 plus log sources, and we've mapped a lot of these with compliance regulations, such as any of the leading compliances like PCI-DSS, HIPAA, any regional compliances like CCPA, and those type of compliance regulations, which is again going to be really easy with the predefined reports. We've got data security, cloud security, and on the other hand, we have threat detection and mitigation. Some of the things that we cover, real-time correlation. I do have a question from one of the attendees who's asking about NIS2 compliance. Yes, NIS2 is also included recently, very, very recently, actually, with the recent update that I'm talking about this session. We have NIS2 compliance in Log360 as well. So going back to threat detection, this is going to be a major part where we've enhanced a lot of these new capabilities, and I'm going to focus more on these. But this is just to give you an overview of what we already have in Log360. When you look at this chart, I'm sure you are wondering. I don't like to call it a buzzword, but yes, it is kind of a buzzword recently. But also, with regards to security, a lot of organizations who we meet do ask about AI capabilities in SIM tools. And that is our recent addition in Log360. We have brought in ZIA assistant in Log360, where we can enhance a lot of the investigation that happens in within the solution itself. So this is basically what we call a first step into Log360's arena in AI powered capability, and that is what we have brought in with regards to Zia Insights. So this works on a Azure OpenAI integration. So when you have the key of to this, especially the Azure OpenAI, you will be able to, have an in within Log360. You just have to integrate the key, and with our in-house integration with Zoho Zia. Um, we are able to generate results that are going to aid in investigations. So far, we have worked this into your log search, your alerts, and security incidents as well. So this is going to give you a more insightful details for each of these alerts, each of these log search, and just bring you key insights so that you can know immediately what you're looking at and what you should be doing next. So as you can see on your screen, we have the MITRE mappings to some of these security events, especially. For example, here we have the Kerberos P authentication disabled event. For that, we have mapped that to MITRE attack and also provide some potential mitigation steps. And this is going to be for common errors, for troubleshooting. And in case of security events, we will provide mitigation steps based on the particular security threat that was detected. So that's the first phase of AI powered Zia Insights in Log360, and it has been live for a while now. We've released this in Q2 of this year. And right after that, that brings me to the main part of the session today, which is what we have brought in recently and how we've enhanced Log360's detection capabilities. And this comes from a lot of research and also talking to a lot of our users already. When we either we receive a lot of feedback online, or we try to meet them in person during conferences and visits, we get a lot of insights into how or how more they would our users would like to see in Log360 and how they can use this to the full potential. A lot of that and market research and just overall seeing how our SIM can be put to better use and also enhance a lot of these capabilities as well. And that's what led to a lot of these additional features that we have brought in the recent release. So the first thing, the background behind it, why we have picked re-engineered our detection, especially, is because of a few things, and that's what I've listed here, especially after talking to SOC analysts and a lot of our users, like I mentioned before. A huge problem there where we found out is the alert fatigue. And again, this is based on a recent study that 60% of SOC teams actually say that the influx of false positives is actually their biggest, obstacle from basically just doing their day-to-day job. It's just the huge number of false positives that you get in a day-to-day basis can cause a lot of this fatigue. And again, they spend more time in, checking the alerts, dismissing them, than and this time can actually be put to use when it comes to detecting actual threats or investigating them and remediating them immediately. So a lot of that time can actually go into that. And when it comes to rules as well, based on which these detection happen, right? Some of the rules might be too broad or quite static or even query heavy as well, from what we see in a lot of security tools. So, bringing all this into place or keeping all this in mind, we have, sort of re-engineered Log360's existing detection capabilities to have this as the priority, where just because there's more alerts doesn't mean you're covering a lot of ground when it comes to security threats, but it's mostly about alert to noise ratio, which is what we want to focus in the recent updates. So these are the different backgrounds that we considered when it comes to enhancing Log360's capabilities. So bringing the new changes, right? What exactly are going to be included in this recent update? We have a lot of changes, and we have brought in new capabilities, enhanced existing ones, and so on. So I'll just go into depth with each of them. But just to give you an overview, these are the core changes or capabilities that we've brought in the recent update. So starting with the foundation itself, we have re-engineered Log360's detection engine to basically make it more precise and adaptable, user-friendly, something that a SOC analyst can just spend a few minutes and then get more information or more insights into security events right away. That's why we brought in a unified detection console that is going to, instead of dealing with multiple silos, let's say you have your MITRE detections in one place, your user behavior analysis in another place or another console. Correlation rules can be in another tab. So now we have brought all of it in a single detection console, making it really easy for you to view all these detections as a single mechanism, just for you to have that in a user friendly way. And again, this means you can see these full detection logic across MITRE, UEBA, correlation, anomalies, even threat intelligence feeds under one single view. And we've also brought in multi-mode rule creation, where you can create standard, anomaly, and advanced rules. So this wasn't possible before, and I'll go into that as well in depth as we move on. And the other one is we've introduced rule optimizations. So these are all based on rules, right? So we need a mechanism that can enable us to optimize the said rules so that we are able to focus on the real threats. For that, we've brought in a few capabilities which we believe are really a game changer when it comes to reducing alert fatigue, which is our main focus in this release, especially. So, this basically lets you scope detection rules to specific users, groups, organization units in your Active Directory. So if you want to track privileged activity for just your domain admin group, or specific executive accounts, or your finance OU, you can do that actually without drowning in all the irrelevant alerts. So that is a major update when it comes to the recent release. And the final one that I have here is the tuning insights that you can have for smarter optimization as well. So this will give you feedback on, let's say you've installed a bunch of rules. So you need more information on how to optimize or, zero in on particular rules and how you can make them more efficient. We will be able to tell you that these rules are noisy, which rules trigger more often, and where exactly you can optimize these as well. So together, these changes basically improve the signal to noise ratio and also help your SOC team or your security team focus on what actually matters. So these are the major core changes, as I was saying. And for those who have joined who don't have a particular background in what exactly Log360 does with respect to detection in case of security threats. We've previously had real-time correlation rules which help in detecting security threats by correlating suspicious events across your network. I'm sure the ones who already use Log360 are very, very familiar with these mechanisms, and you must use it on a regular basis. But just to give an overview of what exactly I'm talking about when it comes to detection and the mechanisms behind it. So that's rule based. And then whatever we don't cover with rules can be monitored just by looking at users and entities behavior, right? So that way we cover any insider threats or even account compromises that happens as well. And for this, Log360 leverages machine learning that can create a baseline, and anytime a user behaves with differently from their usual behavior, we'll be able to flag that using machine learning. So that again covers a lot of ground when it comes to unknown threats. And on the other hand, we have known threats from the MITRE attack framework that we have integrated in Log360. This will cover all the threats ranging from, uh, reconnaissance, initial access, right up to data exfiltration and everything that comes in between, like credential access or privilege escalation. All these attack stages that are covered in MITRE, we'll be able to detect those events that come under that. Apart from this, we also have threat intel feeds, whereas we have integration with some of the global threat vendors like Stix Taxi, Webroot. We've also integrated with a Constella Intelligence for monitoring dark web feeds. So those are pretty important when it comes to covering a lot of credential leaks that happen on the dark web. So all of these put together, again, this was pretty scattered before, and it would make sense for a SOC analyst to have all this information right in one console, right? So that's the reason we have unified all of this instead of having split detections across different consoles, which can slow investigations. So in this case, we've brought all of it in one single console. So this is where I go back and forth. I hope you can see my screen, even though I'm going to just log in to the account that I have right here. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much again for confirming that. One thing, it gives me more confidence that you can see my screen, and also more confidence that everybody, someone's listening. Not everybody, but at least someone's listening. So right here, especially if you're using Log360, you would immediately see the difference here. Of course, we have a sign that says new, but even apart from that, the major difference is that we have replaced the correlation tab and brought one single identity called security. So all these changes that I'm talking about in this session will be under this console, under this tab. So it's just easier, it's more user friendly, and you get all the information on or insights into detections right away. So right off the bat, you get the insights into these threat detections. Like I was saying, we've covered a lot of the or most of the MITRE attack tactics and techniques, and you'll be able to see if there's any events, security events that have been detected right here. Also, the detection pipeline. This is again from the security rules to alerts. We have top 5 users who have the by detections, log sources as well. Again, I did mention that we cover a wide range of log sources from Windows devices, Linux, web servers, and firewalls, you name it. We cover a lot of different log sources. And even if it's something that we don't cover, if we have a custom log file from you, we'll actually be able to parse that with our parsing engine and be able to analyze the data that's coming into it. So that's log sources, and then this is by the different rules, which we'll get into quickly. Also, the trends that are going to give you more insights into the count, and the on the right hand side we have recent detections, which is pretty easy because you any recent detections that you have, you'll be able to see right here, apart from the alerts tab. So this is basically the how security, the new security analytics dashboard gives you an overview of anything that might go wrong in your organization or network right away. So, like I said, I'll be going back and forth a bit. So, hope that's not too confusing because I just want to show you visually whatever I'm talking about in the presentation. So, again, a lot of these detections are based on rules, right? So, in this case, we also know that detection rules can get very complex. And you don't want to spend hours and hours writing queries, especially to come up to a point where you can detect these threats. So in this case, we have made rule creation pretty interactive. You can build rules through a very guided interface, and especially there's no query language that is needed. And there's also a sort of flexibility where I previously mentioned that we have standard, anomaly, and advanced rules in an intuitive UI, where you can have the flexibility to choose between standard rules for known threats, anomaly based rules for any suspicious deviations that occur when we look at user behavior, and advanced rules combine both standard and anomaly, and give you a more visibility into a complex attack chain where it might not just be enough for one correlation rule to find something that you're looking for. So again, this is better explained through, you know, Log360 itself. So I'll just quickly go into the console to just show you where you can create the rule. So this is where you'll be able to create the rule. It is pretty simple if you've used alerts before. This is basically how you'll be able to create Log360, alerts in Log360. So similar mechanism right here. Uh, we just go into action and we have the log type right here. Again, like I said, we support a lot of different log sources, right? We have firewalls, Windows devices, and even other ME applications, as you can see right here. All of these will be included under this, and even dark web feeds, like I mentioned before, that we do have some, we'll be able to provide detections when if there's any credential leaks on the dark web. So this is basically how the rules will look. And when you select the log type, you'll be able to create apply filters or threshold, which is pretty similar to what we have before as well. And that's exactly how you can create a uh, standard rule. You'll also be able to preview it once the rule is created. The other two parts, which is anomaly, here we have a couple more steps where you can, base the anomaly model on counts or patterns, or even time as well, because these are some criterias in which we can measure the deviation of a person's or an entity's change in behavior. So you'll be able to create anomaly rules that way. And the same goes for advanced rules. We have a couple more steps where you can create more rules and also edit your rule message as needed. So this is for creation of rules. And I hear what you're all thinking. It would be, it's good to create rules when you have something specific that you're looking for. But the most of the, organizations or SOC analysts would want something that's out of the box. And that is exactly what we have in this recent update as well. All these rules, so we've brought in around thousand, more than 1,500 or 1,500 pre-built rules that are mapped directly to Sigma frameworks, MITRE ATT&CK, and those frameworks as well. So again, which means that you're not starting from scratch. You don't have to create all the rules. Out of the box, you already have detections for a lot of these, attacks or threat detections. That's privilege escalation attempts, persistent techniques, and all these suspicious activities. So that's going to give you a head start when it comes to keeping the flexibility to customize when needed. And the other part of this is we hear a lot of SOC teams would like to keep these fresh, and especially the security rule content or the detection content. It's really important to evolve constantly, and the rules have to be updated, or we really need to keep up with the extended threat landscape, right? And that's exactly why all these pre-built rules, the 1,500 plus, or sorry, 1,500 plus rules that we are bringing in are going to be cloud delivered. So let's say we research and validate rules for zero-day, attack or a zero-day vulnerability. We'll be able to push them directly to your console, and there's going no manual updates or downtime is going to be needed for just to stay updated with any new threat that's coming in. So these rules are, again, we test them in house, and we run them with any real world attack simulations, so that we ensure that it's actually validated before pushing it to your console. And again, it's going to come as a notification to you, so you can install it or choose not to as well. But the availability of those new rules that match these updated threats will always be there, and it's up to the user to basically install it or choose not to. And again, the coverage is going to be from identity based threats, endpoint and perimeter compromises, cloud and SaaS attack scenarios. Like, it is going to cover a lot of ground when it comes to detecting those threats as well. So again, basically what I just explained in a visual format. How we do this is we use a content delivery system, CDN. So in this, rules are validated, verified, and then updated. And Log360 server fetches these rules from CDN. And we have two different methods here. Can auto install these rules based on, let's say, critical severity, or threats that are very critical or highly critical. And also you can manually install them in case you would want to, or also choose not to. It's basically based on if it's something that your organization is looking at or not. And the rules that I was talking about are almost 1,500 to 2,000 rules, where all of these are pre-built. There's, no need for any creation of rules or customizing them. All of these are out of the box. And these are basically made to build coverage for evolving threats. And we've covered a lot of ground right here. Just to name a few, there's again, like I said, it's around 1500 to 2000. So that's going to cover different log sources and threat groups and all of that. But just to name a few, we have the attack chain end to end here. When it comes to privilege escalation and identity abuse, for example, detecting when a standard user is suddenly added to a domain admin, or let's say you are spotting a golden ticket activity, that will be covered under privilege escalation. And lateral movement, catching suspicious remote PowerShell or even pass the hash attempts across endpoints. When it comes to persistence or reconnaissance, let's say that malicious activities such as creation of new scheduled tasks that are designed to survive reboots, or PowerShell's activities and malicious ones will be able to cover under these rules. When it comes to endpoint and perimeter threats, activities like malware execution attempts, or let's say there's some tampering with firewalls or unusual process injections. So all of these can constitute as endpoint and perimeter threats, right? So that will be covered as well. And of course, we can't forget any of the cloud or SaaS threats where we can flag impossible travel logins, where you get two different logins from two different geographical locations from the same account. That can constitute an impossible travel scenario, or any of that threats that are going to be detected in your cloud environments as well. So all of that will be included in the threat coverage that we have so far. So this is again going to be the rule library that we've introduced in Log360's console. So quickly going to show you that as well. Under manage rules, this is basically where a lot of these you'll be able to see and also manage a lot of the rules that you can um, install in Log360. So we have external malicious threats, where you can find the tag right here as in the source. Here the domain is going to be threat intelligence feeds. Let's say there's possible ransomware activities that we can detect, and the data source is also going to show you the different ones. In case there's any file based detections, we'll be able to cover that as well. So like I said, it includes a lot of pre-built rules. And you can also find that under rule library, where we've mapped it under several log sources. So like I said, this will cover Windows, Active Directory, AWS, advanced threat analytics, which I already covered, and a lot of the different firewall applications and even manage engine applications as well. And these are the available rules. Like I mentioned, it's around 1500, and you can search through them in case you want something specific, and install them. And you can find the installed rules right here, and this is exactly what Log360 will look for in your environment. So for example, suspicious successful password change activity in Windows. This can have a lot of backend events behind it. There will be a few fail logons and then one successful logon, for example. Just a very simple one. Event logs cleared, again, a huge security and also a compliance related violation as well, right? So all of these will are really important to look out in your environment, and you can install them using the rule library. And we've mapped all of these to the MITRE attack map techniques as well. We have the rule types so that you know which rules they come under, and also choose the execution interval, so whether it's continuous or it's going to be dynamic. So all of that can be seen under rule library. So this is basically where we'll be able to manage and view the detection rules which you would like to see in your environment. And another major thing that we have brought in is the new log source, which is going to include Microsoft 365. And again, this is also something that we've heard quite a bit, and we wanted to have a bring in as a log source rather than an integration. So this is going to include 200 plus pre-built reports. That's going to include Exchange Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, and Entra ID. We've also added around 50 security rules, these detection rules for M365 threats as well. And the last thing is something that I'll get into later. So this is a new update that we have for in Log360 as well. And just to clear a few things in terms of licensing and pricing, because I had a recent question on that. So a lot of these, if you noticed, would be available as add-ons before, especially anomaly rules, that is UEBA based anomaly detection, or advanced threat analytics, which I spoke about, you know when it comes to integration with threat intel feeds, and that sort of an external threat information. All of that is going to be inbuilt now. So you don't have to pay anything extra, or it's not going to come as an add-on. It's going to be built in from this particular release. So that is something that I wanted to mention. And again, this is going to be focused on M365 and everything that comes under that. So I'll just quickly show that also in Log360. So we see how that works. Under reports, you'll be able to see right here. So as I was saying, for someone who's looking at this for the first time, the amount of auditing that we have for these log sources, we will be able to find the reports under this tab. So servers and workstations, network devices, applications, and cloud sources, we already support AWS and Salesforce. And this is our recent addition, which is M365. Here you get to monitor your Entra ID events, Exchange Online, and you can see on the left-hand side the extensive reporting that we have for these applications: Microsoft Teams and OneDrive activities, and also SharePoint. And with this, you can also, of course, the reporting side of it is there. And under rules, we also have the uh, rules for M365. And these are the available rules that we have right now that you can install and monitor when it comes to detecting threats in Microsoft 365. So any credentials that are added to an existing application, Entra ID privilege role assigned, or password reset on a sensitive account, any abnormally excessive M365 account lockouts. So those are some critical threats that we have brought in when it comes to detection rules in M365. So we do believe that this is a huge update as well, where you have all these different sources under one single console. So that is with respect to bringing in a new log source, which is M365. And we have come to optimizing these rules now. I believe I mentioned it before, in passing, but there's two ways in which we can optimize these rules. We have something called tuning insights, where, usually we'll have no visibility into which rules are noisy. I mean, unless you're looking into alerts and analyzing them yourself manually. With this particular feature, for each of the rules that are installed, we'll be able to provide, based on the alert volumes or the rule hit frequency, we'll be able to provide some insights where you can have continuous tuning and therefore reducing a lot of the fatigue right there. And this is exactly how it will look like for a rule. Let's say there's an interactive log on failure. The tuning insights will give you some recommendations for that particular rule based on, how long it's run and how many hits do we get frequently for that particular rule. There will be a few suggestions where you can zero in and really focus on the actual threats. For example, in this case, it's going to give you more insights into exclude the below fields to minimize execution load, or add group by fields to reduce the number of query executions. So these are some insights, and obviously it's up to you to actually apply them. You can either have them as analysis, or also apply those insights so you see a more refined way of detecting these threats using these rules as well. And that is, again, one new addition that we've brought in to optimize the rules that we have. And another major capability is object filtering. So, with this, again, another enhancement from rule tuning insights. This is going to be from your end, where we have the pre-built rules where you can often again have a lot of noise when it comes to generating alerts, and in this case, users can enable object level filters, whether it's going to narrow down detections to users, groups, or particular OUs in your Active Directory, and narrow down the detections to really high value assets. And that is exactly what you can do with enabling these AD object filters. So in this case, let's say a member was added to a security enabled global group. This is one particular rule where you will be able to see the rule details and prerequisites, mitigation, execution details. And this is exactly where you can add exceptions based on the user groups. So anytime this particular rule is triggered, it can exclude that particular user group name, or like we were saying before, low risk groups or test accounts that you would want to remove from when it comes to a really critical, highly critical threat. This can reduce a lot of the noise that's coming in, so you can focus on executive accounts, for example, or really high risk OUs that you have in your domain. And with this, you are going to reduce a lot of the noise that can help you focus on threats from actual, um, basically actually what you would like to see. And our focus area for this is to help reduce all the false positives at the rule level, minimize a lot of alert fatigue. Again, this way you have fewer irrelevant alerts and also less noise, so you can focus on high risk objects, or sensitive objects, and helping for a faster investigation and response times as well. And you'll also be able to tune these detection without leaving out any of the coverage of the rules that are actually been brought in your environment. And this will be an impact on how you are or how fast you're able to get to actual detections, and lessen the time that it's taking to analyze the threats and also prioritize real threats quickly through very targeted optimized rules. And also you'll have a shorter mean time to respond when it comes to high confidence alerts as well. So these are some pointers that we kept in mind when bringing in a capability like rule optimization, whether it's tuning insights or adding filters or exceptions in your rules that you've enhanced. And another part of this recent update is enhancing our scalability, because we spoke a lot of the detection power, but it really wouldn't matter if the solution doesn't scale, right? So that's exactly why we've reworked on a lot of the architecture for performance and also growth as well, because modern organizations or modern SOCs would require that amount of scale when it comes to handling even log data or the volume. So now Log360 will support horizontal scalability. So this means you can add log processor nodes to handle more volume without actually losing performance. And each of these nodes can specialize, let's say, in correlation or alerting or search, so that the load is actually distributed very evenly and intelligently, so we don't lose a lot of runtime when it comes to detection or even going through log search as well. So, especially for enterprises with distributed environments or multi site architecture, this lets you securely collect logs from different offices, let's say, or for example, different cloud workloads, remote data centers, and then we can process them centrally as well. So, the key takeaway here is that we'll be able to scale and handle large distributed environments while also preserving the performance. And to quickly just explain this, we have a chart where on the left hand side we have sites, whether it's remote or central. We can deploy lightweight agents that's going to forward the logs, and those logs are sent to DMZ zone. So this keeps our internal SIM cluster very secure by never exposing these sensitive data directly to external traffic. And inside the central location, again, we rely on a log processor. We have a cluster. Here we have a primary one right here. And this is because, instead of a single overloaded server, these tasks are distributed across different processors, and it's just not one primary log processor. We have other ones with different roles as well. So we can add these horizontally, depending on whether parsing, correlation, or alerting need more horsepower. So this way, as log volume grows, you'll be able to simply add nodes without any re-architecture that's being needed as well. And you'll also see shared storage and app database right here. These are going to ensure high availability, persistent storage of logs, and just a smooth coordination of configurations across all these nodes as well. And again, the devices in the central site also forward logs directly into the processor cluster. So whether it's a multi-site or different offices, everything can consolidate into one scalable and secure fabric when it comes to scaling in Log360. There's also something I wanted to show in this case. There's a few changes in under settings as well, especially under enterprise essentials, where you'll be able to add log processors. In case you're unsure, we also have a deployment guide where it talks about, when exactly to scale or what are the components. Again, more in-depth information. And this is basically exactly how you will add log processors to, enhance scaling. That can be done under settings itself. Another part of this, recent updates, we were able to get in touch with one of our customers who's been using Log360 for quite a while, because we are bringing in a lot of changes. We wanted to validate, the rules or the rule optimization techniques, and we were able to get a beta testing program going on with them. This is an organization from Oregon in the US, and we reached out to them, and they were able to test some of these capabilities for quite some time and give us some data, which we were able to again publish as a press release. This is an excerpt from our press release. And the major takeaways here is they are a 911 emergency communication center. So security is something that they value a lot. And in that case, any sort of advancement when it comes to detecting threats that can harm them would be really essential. And with the beta testing, they were able to, use the optimized detection rules and filter out any of the, irrelevant users or user groups. And they were able to bring down a lot of these alerts. Again, we have the metrics for that as well, which they were able to help us give. And we also had a launch in our user conference recently in Las Vegas. I'm not sure how many of you were there. You would have seen us, present on this particular update, and he was able to give, run through on how we were able to achieve this. So that also made gave us the boost on how it's, even though we test some of these rules internally in house, it's really great to reach out to a customer who's been using Log360 for so long, give us their insights as well. So in case any of you who are using Log360 are interested in participating in activities like this, you can always reach out to us. I'll just put the email ID in the chat so that you can reach out and let us know. So, roadmap. All of these capabilities that I spoke about are available on premises Log360, and we are working on releasing these capabilities in cloud very, very soon. And apart from this, I covered all the Q3 updates, but we have more coming with the upcoming releases. We are going to have a lot more capabilities that's going to enhance our SOAR with, bringing in security telemetry through EDR applications and other security tools as well. For example, CrowdStrike. And again, these are some features that we have had requests from our users as well. We're also going to bring in custom playbook building with Zoho Circuit and low code, no code deluge application as well. So that is in the pipeline. For security posture management, we will have a quantitative assessment of your overall security posture. And when it comes to AI, our first phase was, sort of an assistant for helping you with investigating or giving you a summary of the insights. We are working on the next phase already, while we'll have a alert investigation agent that's going to help you, with more of an insight when it comes to alerts as well, and bring down a lot of the time and effort that goes into analyzing those as well. So that is going to be our next phase of release. That brings me to the end of this session. Thank you all for joining the session. I hope it was useful.